Howdy folks, TJ here. A next update just dropped over the weekend. Thank you to Retro Robbins for texting me on Facebook. Is it called texting on Facebook? DMing? Something like that. Sending me a private message saying, hey, have you seen the news? Hopefully you make a video about it. And it's long. So I finally had a chance to look at it a little bit. And unfortunately, the news is a little somber, but we'll chug through it. If you need the Cliff Notes version, there's a delay. But needless to say, the group behind it's stand-up folks, so we will get the next Kickstarter 2 in time. But yeah, I wasn't keeping an eye on the internets over the weekend because I was off with the wife on Sunday. She took me on a big old long trip. I guess I'm getting a little bit more British every day. I mean, I like British computers. She wants a Corgi. A Corgi. I'm more of a, an Australian Shepherd, Labrador Retriever, that kind of dog. She wants a Corgi. They're kind of cute. We went to go check out some puppies to see what their temperament is. Before you know it, I'm going to own a Corgi and a freaking C5. I'm going to rename myself TJ Clive. Oh, shit. I'm becoming British. No. No, although that's fine. That's fine. I'd be perfectly fine being British. But yeah, so this is about Speccy Next, not no Corgis, but I had to let you know that's why I wasn't on top of it on Sunday. I guess this dropped on the 3rd. That was yesterday, so yeah, it's pretty recent news. So let me get my mouse out. The name of the update says The Saga. We've reached the end boss, so they kind of put a little video game twist to it. I seldom see end bosses. I normally get to level 1 or 2 and that's it. So unless the game is 3 levels, I seldom see the end boss. But in a nutshell, if you just like to know the answer, yeah, there's a delay. And it looks like it's going to be a lengthy one. We kind of, if you read the last update, we kind of expected it was probably going to be about a year because they said the chips that were needed are about a year out, or if not a little bit longer. So it looks like June 2023, which is around the time that we may get a Corgi. So I'll have a Speccy Next and a Corgi at the same time. That could be fun. So let's go ahead and read. So this dropped on the 3rd. If you had the chance to follow our previous update, you will recall our main goal in the last months, plural, has been to grapple with the global chip shortages and that wiped out the FPGAs from the face of the planet, along with most other electronic components that go along in the making of pretty much any piece of hardware. So this is going to be a long video, but I don't read this verbatim. I want to get your taste buds tasting here by reading off the basic premise of it, and then we'll fly through the rest. And the video will still probably be 20-some odd minutes long. So yeah, the FPGAs are hard to get. We kind of knew that. Here's the recap. Unable to secure our original FPGA model, the Spartan 6, working with the manufacturer. I have a hard part pronouncing this. It's X-I-L-I-N-X, Inklings, X-Links, with migrated our board design to a larger model, the RTX. They love those X's, 7. So all 59,000 RTX 7 chips have been ordered and are allocated to our project. So they've ordered all these suckers. The official lead time, how long until they deliver the chips? Was 65 weeks at the time of ordering, 57 weeks ago. So if you do the quick little math, what's it, 54 months or 54 weeks in a year? It's going to be a little over a year, folks. It's going to be summer 2023 unless there's some speed ups, and I guess we'll keep reading. So 57 weeks as of now. This order required an NCNR, no cancellation, no refund policy, paid up front, such as the state of affairs in the electronics industry at this moment. Be that as it may, this means that we have ordered all the project's parts, bar none. Bar none tells me there's there's no other parts needed to be ordered. And while this doesn't sound like much, a trivial step in normal circumstances, it has been an uphill battle of months to get to this stage. So, yay. In parallel, our manufacturer partner has been working on our test boards featuring the Arctic 7. So they've been chomping here and trying to make sure this chip that they've ordered bazillion of, it will be right. Because imagine if it wasn't. That would be a crap load weasel fart. You know, that wouldn't be too good. Originally expected to be between 4 to 6 weeks. These came in at 11 weeks. So a little bit of a delay. Everything's delayed. Thanks to the... But bills are never delayed. No, bills never get delayed. You get bills plenty of time in advance. They want their frickin' money, right? Damn bill people. Originally, taxes too. Originally expected, yeah, so we read that part. I'm starting to regurgitate. So they had some COVID lockdowns in Shenzhen, China, and shipping on April 10th, which is soon. So needless to say, some delays. They've been testing the Arctic 7. This is where I start not reading verbatim and kind of flying through it. While the test boards are being populated, behold their nakedness and all their glory. And don't worry with the issue 2H moniker, the final units will be upgraded to issue 4 as promised. Issue 3 was this final Spartan 6 design. But this just reminded us that we now have produced 6 board designs for the Kickstarter 2, all in the name of perfection. So they have a picture of a naked TBB blue, and it does say ZX Spectrum Next issue 2H. 2H, does H stand for Henrique? Does H stand for hot? H can stand for a lot of things. Oh, sorry, we didn't realize you haven't dressed up yet. So sorry. So nakedness. Lots of nakedness flying around in this update. I like nakedness. I'm kind of not quite a child of the 60s, but I'm perfectly fine with nakedness. Oh, stab your eyes out now. Stab them out. Okay, an interesting detail because we can't months to get a hold of FPGA chips for the urgent manufacturing and test boards. These have been assembled with Arctic 7 sourced in the open market. Brace yourself. Where do you brace? I'm not sure where to brace. Brace yourself. A mere $300 each. So they had to spend a lot of money on these not open source, but sourced in the open market. In order for Z-Links to not be able to track where they come from, and thus out of scalpers out of the chain, notice the chip serial numbers have been lasered out by peeps. So they show a picture of these Arctic 7s with serial numbers kind of bleeped out. That's kind of scary a little bit. Hopefully these are legit, you know. I'm guessing they can tell the difference. But yeah, that's bizarre, right? Bleeping those out. Okay, so production status. So that was kind of the basics of things. Things are going to be delayed. Did they say the date? Oh, I got sneeze. My allergy's been really bad lately. So if I sneeze interim here, you've got the picture. Okay, so they haven't come out yet and said the date here yet, but they said 65 weeks and 57 weeks, so you can do the math quickly. They do, I think, later on say the actual date. So, production status with the order of the Arctic 7. The project status is a parts ordering complete. What's now left for them to do is the lead times, try to cut them shorter. More on that below. So they're going to talk about how to cut them shorter maybe. And manufacturer. In parallel, we have ample time to test the issue 4 board, tweak it if necessary, and assemble the machines as soon as we get delivery of the FPGAs. Oh, I got these. As a reminder, all parts and accessories for the ZX Spectrum Next have been ordered, and most are already in our possession. The only bits missing are the large volume parts, plastic case injection manual, and boxes. None of these affected by the pandemic or distribution to supply. Thus, they will be produced. Oh, I gotta sneeze. Produced in parallel to assembly of the computers. Right as you're trying to do a video is when things happen. Dogs come up and chew on your shoelaces, and you gotta sneeze, and your eyes start watering. So parallel to assembly computers prior to shipping. Okay, so basically they're saying there's some things they're going to order still last minute, but it's not stuff that seems to be affected by the pandemic, so we shouldn't worry. This leads to the most important, the shipping date. So they're going to come out and say it. They're going to say it. They're going to rip the Band-Aid off. They should rip it off. Currently, the full lead time of the Arctic 7, our ship date is around June 2023. Everybody can sigh. Some for relief, some for not. It's a long delay, face it. You know, it's not this summer. We're not going to have a summer of 2022. We're not going to have a fall of 2022. This is a summer of 2023. It's like the new production year in a car, you know. August, they start talking about stuff in the summer, but it's the car for the next year, so you're maybe buying it in 2022, but it's a 2023 production release year. So, yeah, June 2023, if everything goes as planned. So, long delay. So, I feel sorry for those that don't own a Next, can't have the privilege and fun of playing with one now, and they know they're going to have a longer delay. But we'll talk about that at the end of the video, so stick around. I've got some thoughts on that. But yeah, so a long delay, unfortunately. With every week, we can accelerate the delivery from ZX. The date moves earlier by the same amount of time. So that's a generous way of saying every week that goes by, you'll have a week less, hopefully, of waiting for it. But, you know, fingers crossed that they can cut the lead time significantly. So they are saying that updates will inform updates to backers as lead times may fluctuate with Z-Links and adjust the shipping date accordingly. So that could be for the positive or negative. They're not saying either direction, but I think they're kind of saying hopefully keep their fingers crossed that if they keep poking the bear, that the folks at Z-Links will, you know, give them some positive news eventually. So could that mean spring of 2023? Sure. I mean, there's always that chance, you know. Right now, maybe these folks are just really being cautious on putting dates out there. And hopefully we get them earlier, you know, at this point. But doubtful this year, obviously. I would say if there's any little morsel to look at, maybe spring 2023. But they're saying June. So if we're lucky, maybe a little earlier than that. So let's see. We don't make light of this delay on the original shipping date. We know that many of the backers, this is a big letdown. And personally, Henrique want to apologize. And I personally, Henrique wants to apologize to you for having placed the project in this situation. So he's taking a little bit of the blame for it. Obviously, these folks are doing this on their free time. So don't blame anyone. This is just shit happens. Deal with it, right? You know, we're adults. We can deal with shit. Nothing's ever peachy, fuzzy for your whole life. Shit's going to happen, so deal with it. So these guys are doing the best they can with what they've got. And so, yeah, he is accepting a little of the blame for that. So that's a stand-up comment for him to make. And he's apologizing for it. So we are caught in the perfect storm of a pandemic, increased electronics demand, water shortages in Taiwan, which caused rationing of chip plants, and something quite specific to Z-Link's FPGA lines. We're not quite sure what it is. Read more of the previous updates. So together, these have created an unforeseen outcome that got us by surprise pretty hard. So forward the project goes, one step at a time. This is ZX Spectrum Next Issue 4. Will be worth the wait. Just read below and see what I mean. So if you were in for a Cliff Notes version, I already said that earlier. Delay is June. So yeah. So little saddening news. I've got a Speccy Next. I'll be perfectly fine. We'll talk about it at the end of the video, some thoughts I have on what you can do in the meantime while waiting for your Speccy Next if you don't have one. So anyway, great things are afoot. So Mike Cadwalder, I have a hard time. You know, all these names are just so damn unique. Maybe not over there, but in the United States, I don't know of any other Cadwalder. Do you like CAD Cam? CAD software? Perfect name. You could have had your own version of a CAD application. Maybe you should make one for the Speccy Next. Are you a programmer? That'd be neat, huh? Next ZX OS update. So it looks like Next ZX OS version 2.07 has now finalized and is undergoing testing prior to release. This version brings us a host of bug fixes in comparison with the official distribution version of version 2.06H, as in hot. Horny. Ooh, Henrique, what's other H word? Hotel, hummus. Ooh, hummus sounds good. A little slather of hummus on some pita bread, that sounds all right. As well as some significant new features, including revamped memory system. And I'm not going to read all this shit because this video is going to get really long, but they've revamped the menu system. I'm really blinkety today. I've got, like I said, allergies. I feel like I got sandpaper in my eyes. So if I'm blinking more than normal, I apologize. With shortcuts for every key entry, so it looks like navigating menus will be easier. Even better, you can customize the menus to your own requirements with a simple text configuration file. So they've revamped menu system, customizable color with an O-U-R schemes. Color in the browser, you can now, it looks like there's color schemes you can play with. Very cool. Syntax highlighting added to the next basic editor, showing keywords, line numbers, strings, variables. So it looks like they've updated the syntax highlighting. Enhanced browser automatically sorts your files by name, size, date. Again, I'm not going to read everything. Go and look at the Kickstarter yourself to read everything in nitty-gritty, but they've enhanced the browser, they've enhanced the TAP, TZX, Z80, SNA loaders, so that's cool. It looks like, as well as compatibility improvements made possible by the latest core. These now allow you to define your own keyboard joysticks for each game. So you can play any game with keys of your own choosing, even if it doesn't have a redefinable option. That's cool, because I always stumble with that when that time comes on that you've got a keyboard-only option and you really want to have a joystick, so that's kind of cool. So read all these things. It looks like you've got some great enhancements coming out. All new guides available from the menu system and browser. They provide easy access to documentation directly on your Speccy Next. Other improvements: Next basic performance is improved, and the ability to take snapshots of ZX80 and ZX81 software has been implemented. You can now use doc commands for files stored in RAM disk or mounted on +3 floppy disks. You know, there's so much that I have yet to even explore in the 2 years I've had my Speccy Next, that just at some point I'll have to go and explore. But there's so much. When you start getting comfortable with something, you just harp on the good things and you seldom start exploring some others. I do take folks for exploration of things that I had no realization that I had on my Speccy Next. So over the coming year, since I've got some more delay time here for the Speccy Next Kickstarters too, I'll hopefully be able to explore some more of these things that maybe I wouldn't have if the time wasn't permitted, because I'm lazy. Like there's so many of us dudes, you procrastinate and you're a little lazy. You don't want to explore some of these other things. You like sherbet, you don't like this other ice cream, you're going to keep going to the sherbet, right? Ooh, rainbow sherbet sounds really good. Other improvements: Next basic performance, we've covered. Huge thanks to Gary Lancaster. And it looks like they've got some pictures here. Debug your heart's content with these other aids. There's all these new fun colors on the program that they're showing. They show a basic program and they show all these fun colors of everything really sticking out compared to what I remember when I made my own game. I don't remember if they were options back then. I guess maybe this is some of the fun color improvements. Debug your heart, your content. It shows a picture of the browser, and again, lots of different color things that are popping out that I'm not familiar with. Looks great, but you just, oh, he spelled just wrong. He spelled it J-S-U-T. Just you gotta fix that. That sounds like my sneeze. And wait and see. Someone will subvert the customization into the worst color scheme of all time. So it's showing some color variations. Oh, this one's really fun. This is like a blue one with all sorts of colors. So if you like colors, folks, and you're more than just Amish black and white, you're gonna have a field day with these new updates. So cool, color crazy. Core development. Since the last official distribution was made, the hardware that defines the Speccy Next has been continually getting developed and improvements. I'm kind of flying through this. The goal is to finalize a version 3 of the hardware that ticks off most of what is to-do list before beginning scratch for version 4. So core is being continually updated. Spectrum compatibility looks like they're continuing to update that. Next contains multi-face hardware. I'm kind of just trying to pick out some few things that kind of... This is a long chapter. So go read this for yourself, because I get confused by some of this stuff, and I got to really read it multiple times. But needless to say, they continue to play with Speccy compatibility. So cool. Unleash the Z80. One of the distinguishing features of the Z80 was its prioritized vector interrupt mode, which allowed external devices to generate interrupts and have the Z80 jump directly to service routine without the next need to poll which device caused the interrupt in software. This goes beyond the scope of this video. That's rocket science for me right now, so that's more of a programming thing, more of a inner hardware banging the metal type of thing, as they say. So, yeah, that's a long-ass chapter, too. So, go check out that one, Unleash the Z80. So if you're into this, go read that. And now they're going to start talking to some games, it looks like. TX 1696 is a new game. I have seen pictures of this. It looks a little R-typey. It looks a little spaceshipy. A new game by Lucky Redfish. Defending the galaxy from evil mollusks. It looks like a big snail. Is True Calling. So this is a new game. It looks like sound from Richard Faulkner. Unique mind-blowing soundtrack. And so there's a link to luckyredfish.com website where you can get on a list to be told when this game is coming out. And there's a video link that you can click on, which I have watched before, showing you the game. Looks stellar. Next up is Nexter. Nexter is a new bi-monthly, free bi-monthly compilation of small games, news, articles, and other curiosities that can be downloaded and run on your Speccy Next. It's got a very cool logo. It's got the colors red, yellow, green, blue. I guess you call it blue. Baby blue, I call it. Nexter. So it looks like a new publication that's a downloadable type that's going to be free. Please reach out to Paul Weller on his Facebook. Or email him at nexter@sunteam.co.uk if you would like to contribute something to the cause. But it looks like they have also released a new graphical adventure game too. More on that in the further down. So Nexter not only is a publication, the same group looks like they have a adventure game. After that, Nextdaw. I do own Nextdaw. Looks like there has been a last official update. Version 1.45 has been cooking in the background. Great arranger, great instrument program, piano rolls, all that stuff, sound effects. I used it for my own Invasion of the Cloud People, the Next Door Storm, basically making a little soundtrack that played behind the game and stuff like that. Some sound effects between levels. So, wonderful program. Buy it if you don't have it. And it's mouse-driven, which is cool. And they did some bug fixes. So, Gary Biasello, have a hard time pronouncing that. So, Nextdaw, its program's been around for a while. I do own the hard copy. I finally received that from Japan a number of months back. So, I forget when I got it. Was it late last year? Something like that. So I have the hard copy now. Melicor's Mansion has been updating. If you've been keeping an eye on the Facebook groups, Kev Brady has been pumping out some updates on the next version of that. So it looks like this is one big ass update. But there's an update for the Melicor's Mansion if you're into that game. So check that out. I've never played the older, I think, Speccy. I believe this game is a version for this original Speccy, if I'm not mistaken. It's kind of like Attic Attack-y kind of game. So it says, this is, long ago, Richard Jordan of BitGlint Games decided to sit down and create a reimagined version of the classic ZX Spectrum game Attic Attack. Melkor's Mansion was the end result. A slick isometric game with a color palette currently available on Windows, Linux, and Mac. Kent Brady is took the challenge to make the next version. So that was an on again, then a little off again, but back on. And Kent Brady's been kicking butt and posting updates about this game. So I can't wait to check it out. Very cool. So it's kind of based on the Attic Attack game. That's where it gets its heritage from. Redux Revenge. It looks like Sanchez Crew. There's a fun... This game... I saw a video of this the other day, and this looks really fun. It looks like a little wizard shooting fireballs and stuff out. So there's a new video game, Spectrum Next game, in development by the Sanchez Crew. Their goal to create an amazing adventure game that will definitely keep you on your toes. You play the role of a wizard, Mr. Wizard. And judging by the video Sanchez Crew have posted so far, it looks like a pretty dangerous existence. So check that out. Redux Revenge. Wolfenstein as yet untitled ray casting game. Wow, this looks... Basically, it's Wolfenstein on a frickin' Speccy Next. Before the Kickstarter 2 funded, Mike Daly had demonstrated advancement of raycasting engine for the Speccy Next. So it looks like in the very early days, and there's a lot that will change and plenty of things to be added. So there's a video link, very early work in progress of this raycasting game, which is untitled, but it looks very much like a Wolfenstein. So very cool. On a freaking Speccy Next even. ZX Harrier, another game, looks like is available, and I quickly see a name of Lampros Patamina. Every single name in this thing is, there's just not one that's Smith. There's no Smiths here. There's no, easy ones. They're all very elaborate last names. Patatanamos. They show a picture of ZX Harrier. This looks like a fun playing kind of game. And there's a video link, so check out that. ZVM, not merely content with the raft of enhancements to next ZX OS, Gary Lancaster has been turning attention to this, wow, that's a long name, ZX ZVM, the Z machine interpreter for the Spectrum Next. See how easy am I to say Z now, though? I'm very British. I'm going to have corgis before you know it. I'm going to have a C5 that I'm going to be blowing through town on. Holy crap. I'm going to have to change my name. Ferrer is not a very British last name, is it? What can I name? What's a good British name that ends with an F? You tell me down below. Okay, color. So I'm not quite familiar with it, but Z Machine Interpreter. So interesting. Frogger, Frogger, a new game from Rusty Pixels. Awesome. For those of you who have fired up Rusty Pixels, which I did, the Rams Rusty Arcade Machine System, I did a video this last year on it. It looks like there's the the Frogger has come available, possibly. Frogger. What does it say? You can find out more about Rams on their website. It looks like... is there at least it was there in spirit, but not in body, although there was an update back in 2020. Other projects getting away. Now, though, the frogs are being lined up. The river is being populated with turtles and logs, including the odd crocodile, and it is almost ready to hit Spectrum Next screen near you. So, almost. So if you like Frogger, check it out. Nextos. This one looks, not Cheetos, Nextos. It is a window graphic environment for the frickin' Speccy Next. This is so cool looking. Not Windows, but this is Nextos. It's a graphical user environment operating system for the Speccy Next, being developed by Defectu Corp. And I have their game, by the way, which is fun. So they are in the process of making a mouse-driven. Now, for some people, they're going to say, oh, no, you're going to be command line only. You know, I love a mouse. I was an Atari ST kid. I had a mouse. Previous to that, I was an Atari 800. But I remember when they had the rat for the Atari 8-bit line. I've always been interested in mice. So I love the idea of having a mouse-driven environment that I can go through. There'll be days that I just want to be command. There's other days I want to have a mouse looking fun graphic user environment. So I can't wait to see as this progresses, but you can read more about it on their website, and there's a link on their website. They also have a Patreon that they've set up. So if you're part of the Patreon, I think you get to see updates much earlier than other folks about this Nexto. So check that out. Very cool. Just think of a Windows graphic environment like an Atari ST or an Amiga or any of those on your Speccy Next. Very cool. Things that are released, Level 9 compilation. I just recently did a video on that. That allows you to play all these Level 9 graphic text adventures on your Speccy Next. Check that out. Golden Seas, Sun Team. This is the game they made mention above. So it looks like this is a graphic text adventure from the makers of Sun Team. So Golden Seas is the name of the game. Doogie Doo is a wonderful Dig Dug, Mr. Doo type game that I've done a video on. So check out Doogie Doo. Very fun game. And there's a video link to it also. Space Invaders. So they have a video, it looks like. The new one from Splinter GU. Juan Jose Holy crap. Ponteprino. Every single name. There's not one single easy name in this thing. There's a link to Space Invaders that you can play. Watch the wonderful Space Invaders, and they have a video link. C-Spec from Mike Daly. There's an update they're talking about. Now 2.15.2. Next Fly Play Flicks animation player from Jari Kopa. I am so tired right now. This is a long video, but there's videos about this Play Flicks, FLX, and Flicks. So these are, looks like graphic players demonstrating a FLX, I'm not familiar with this, player for the Spectrum Next. I'll have to read this more in detail later. So you can play these, it looks like you can play these graphically sound-oriented files. And in other news, the Code along with Bagger series has been hugely popular, and it has taken a hiatus recently. Whilst Jim focuses on other things, he is preparing to get back into the driving seat, though, so look out for an announcement from him, and returns the following as he teaches the intricacies of the Z80 assembly on the Spectrum Next. Okay, cool. I think that's talking about Code along with Baggers. That's what it's talking about. So he's coming back to that here. And signing off. We'll read this verbatim, and then we'll end this video. I hopefully just recorded everything, and I hit record. Whilst we do our best to try capture everything that is currently happening in the world of Spectrum, next, there is always things that slip through the net. If you are working on something and would like us to feature it in a future Kickstarter update, please get in touch with info@specnext.com. So there you go, folks. Hopefully you had fun listening to me read all this stuff. Some verbatim, very little. Much everything improvised like I normally enjoy doing. So there's a weight on our hands. What can you do? I kind of mentioned that at the beginning of the video. You're going to have to find some other hobbies, folks. If you're a one-track pony, you're going to be a little sad. So most everybody's got more than one hobby. I myself love multiple things. I like fly fishing. I like working on my old Volkswagens. But I have my ebbs and flows as I enjoy stuff. In the last year, I've been getting back into my Volkswagens and finding pleasantness in wrenching on them. And I've been working on my Volkswagen bus, and I've been getting more into that, and that's taking a little time away from doing some other retro computer or vintage computer stuff. So I would say find some other hobbies if you're a one-trick pony, I think. I forget what I was saying, one-track pony, one-trick pony. Yeah, you need to find another pony. Have multiple ponies lined up because we're going to have a little bit of a weight on our hands. If you're a one-trick pony that likes computers, well, there's lots of Spectrums out there. If you've never owned a Spectrum before, explore buying one. Either a reimagined version that's more like these, what's the name of it? I'm forgetting the name of it, but it's the new, like the Omni laptops. They are kind of a new rendition of a Speccy Next, and they have a cartridge port that you plug the stuff into the back, or expansion port. So they're very much like a hopped up spectrum of the day. So if you never owned anything at all, explore those. Sometimes they're hard to get because these guys don't make thousands of them, so you might be on a waiting list too for that. But explore used equipment, explore some of this new type of equipment that you can get some from some Sinclair related companies. Check out their lead times, find out how long it will take to get it. You can get Ngos still. They are a Speccy Next clone, basically. Even though they're available in limited numbers, they can sometimes get this Spartan chip that in quantity you can't get. So you may see Ngos periodically pop up for sale. So if you want a Speccy Next experience with a pretty nice keyboard at that, explore an Ngo in the meantime. They're not terribly, they're still a little bit pricey, $300 and some odd range, at least the last I looked. Maybe they're going up now because the Spartan chip's harder to get. But explore those, explore used equipment, explore other platforms. Over here I've got a sword. Under here I've got a Falcon Atari. I've got ColecoVisions. I've got all sorts of Sinclair QL. There's lots of fun alternative computers that you can enjoy. So tinker with some other things. Don't put all your cards in one basket, all your eggs in one basket for one thing. Expand your horizons a little bit. And whether that's, look, I even got in my office. What's this? This is a valve cover for a Volkswagen air-cooled bus. So there's other things that you can enjoy. I'm going to enjoy some other things in the next year. Take a little bit of time away from some retro computing, vintage computer fun. Still do lots of videos, still have fun with it all, but explore your horizons. There's a lot more out there. And then some days it's good to just turn this crap off and go out and fish. Go out and smell even if you got allergies like me, smell the flowers. Go out for a hike. Go fly fishing. Go spin cast fishing. Just do stuff. Go camping. Go camping for a weekend. Get out of your element. Try new things. Sometimes trying something new brings new fun things into your life. So anyway, that's my words of wisdom. Get out there and do some other things while you wait. Don't get all harpy on, oh, it's another year delay. Yeah, shit happens. We all have to deal with it, right? So, sorry that it's going to be a long delay. It looks like hopefully they can creep that down to maybe spring. Who knows? But in the meantime, get out there, have fun on doing something else. And thanks for watching this video. Have a wonderful rest of your spring and look forward to a wonderful summer 2022. Bye.